Fast, Too Forever. There's all kinds of family, and we chose this one. This is episode 438, The French Connection from 1971. I'm Joey Lewandowski.
I'm Joe too, and this episode is brought to you by French Classics. French Classics started as a passion for Oliver Houllier. It's collecting classic Citroën cars and restoring them to a new life. Shout out to French Classics. If you need a Citroën, call Oliver.
Well, shout out to Oliver and French Classics, and welcome to Too Fast, Too Forever. I'll say with us tonight. There's nobody here tonight. We're talking about French Connection from 1971. Joe, is this a movie you had seen? Is this a movie that you know anything about? What is your history with French Connection?
I've never seen it. I knew that it was like a classic car movie. Whenever we were
yes. Mm-hmm.
Like whenever we were doing these lists, you know, like this is one that comes up for sure. So I knew of that, but I had never seen this movie before. Would
it surprise you? And this is not a trick to learn that this won Best Picture.
I think it would surprise me to learn that. What was it against that year? Not that I would know, but what were the other noms in that year? We're probably eight.
I'm also
at this time
looking at the Best Picture list to see if we've covered another Best Picture winner for the show, and I don't have that answer yet. It won Best Picture. It won Best Director. Gene Hackman won Best Actor. Roy Scheider lost Best Supporting Actor. It won Best Adapted Screenplay. It was nominated for Best Cinematography. It won Best Editing and was nominated for Best Sound. Yeah. So the 44th Academy Awards, it beat A Clockwork Orange, The Last Picture Show, and Nicholas and Alexandra. I mean, I don't know that Clockwork Orange, I think that's too transgressive. I'm surprised, honestly, that was nominated for Best Picture. That seems like in 1971 for the awards in 72, crazy that it was nominated, but
Clockwork Orange feels like it came out after 71 to me as well.
But also that year, The Last Picture Show, which it also was nominated against, is a fantastic movie. I talked about that with Brian and Tobin over on Brian's podcast, High School Summer Party. That 71 was a stacked year. Also, Klute came out the year, which is a great movie. I'm just seeing what other movies, we have not covered Rocky, but we could cover Rocky. We've not covered Platoon, but we could cover Platoon. Silence of the Lambs we've not done, but we could do.
Mad Max?
Things.
Fury Road, maybe?
It was nominated. It did not win. We did Titanic, so there's one.
Oh, that's one.
We could do Gladiator. Sense. We have not done Gladiator. The Departed we've not done, but we could do.
I don't like The Departed.
I keep saying that, but I don't know that that's true.
Maybe we should do The Departed just to figure out if we hate The Departed
We could just do a mob lap or something. Or just that
would make a good
Scorsese
sense.
Movies.
Yeah.
I think those are the only ones that we've done, I believe. But yes, this won a bunch of Oscars. If you don't know what The French Connection is, a pair of NYPD detectives in the Narcotics Bureau stumble onto a heroin smuggling ring based in Marseille, but stopping them and capturing their leaders proves an elusive goal. Directed by William Friedkin, who did The Exorcist. He also did what we covered, To Live and Die in L.A.
Yes,
he also
good
did
movie.
A movie we're doing later this lap, Sorcerer, which I have spoken very highly of. Sorcerer also rules.
Okay.
Didn't think that we're doing two Freakins this lap, but we are. The car chase in this movie, why we're doing it, we'll talk about that more later, is widely considered to be the best one ever on film at the time, overtaking Bullet from 3 years early for that honor. This is according to Wiki or IMDb or something.
Yeah.
Friedkin himself said he tried to outdo himself with To Live and Die in L.A., but I don't think that he did because this is so crazy. And the actual details of the making of this car chase, I will get into later. Reading the trivia about it is almost as insane as watching it on screen because it is so crazy. Written by Ernest Tidyman, who wrote the screenplay for Shaft, also co-written by Friedkin, based on a book by Robin Moore, who wrote the book The French Connection, a true account of cops, narcotics, and international conspiracy, written in 1969. Friedkin says the film is, quote, an impression of that case. The detectives Jimmy Doyle and Buddy Russo were based on the real officers in the case, and though their real names were changed, Egan and Grosso were nicknamed Popeye and Cloudy, like their counterparts. Popeye is because his eyes were always buggy, and Cloudy because his name was Sonny, but he was just kind of a grump and a grinch, so they're just oh, you're not Sonny, you're Cloudy, so.
Yeah, that's funny. I like it.
Produced by Philip D'Antoni, who did Bullet also. So this guy is just mowing them down in terms of classic car movies, classic car chases. Also produced by Kenneth Utt, who did the aforementioned Silence of the Lambs, Something Wild, and Midnight Cowboy. Shot by Owen Roizman, who did The Exorcist, The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, which we covered.
We did.
Addams Family from the 90s. Network and Tootsie. Budget of about $2 million, made $75 million. Huge
2
hit.
million to 75. Jesus.
This is the craziest thing about the budget. I read this and I'm like, it feels like this would never ever happen now.
Well, Joey, in this movie, a bag of chips is 10 cents and a chocolate ice cream cone is 25 cents.
Round trip flight from New York to Washington is $54, which actually it might not be that much more if you catch it at the right time, right? Like you can get maybe
Like a
cheap flight.
JetBlue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although this seems like they're reclining on this flight, right? There, it's like a
Business
nice
class
flight.
for
Yeah.
$54 round trip. Yeah.
So here's the trivia about the box office. After a slow start, just keep this in mind. How it was in theaters this last weekend. I didn't see it, and now it's gone. After a slow start, in its 6th week, it reached the top spot.
6th week.
Holding it for 6 weeks between November and December, then returning for the top spot in February of 72. The 8th most viewed film of 71, the 4th most viewed film of 72. Made 15 million in the US, another 60 worldwide. But it's just like, yeah, this movie didn't really do well. It was around for 6 weeks, and then it's just like, if a movie's around for 6 weeks now and doesn't do well, like, it's not.
In
it's
6
dead.
weeks, I forget that Stranger Things existed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's not even 6 weeks, it's like 6 days for Stranger Things. Yeah, like nobody talks about it.
That's what
right?
I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
97 on Rotten Tomatoes, 87 by the audience. Consensus is realistic, fast-paced, and uncommonly smart. The French Connection is bolstered by stellar performances by Gene Hackman and Roy Scheider, not to mention William Friedkin's thrilling production. And there is one crazy credit, which even though I wrote it down, I did not remember. Did you notice a crazy credit?
In the actual credits?
It's not really text. It's something else.
No, what is it?
The 20th Century Fox logo appears in black and white, then slowly dissolves to color. 16 up, 4 down.
Ooh, crazy.
Pretty crazy. But what did you think? Because I have a lot of trivia. Like, there's so much trivia, and I'm trying not to bore you or the listeners, but I think that there's a lot of interesting things, which I will get to as we go and then at the end. But what did you think overall, first impressions of The French Connection?
I'm glad that I watched this movie because
Okay.
I've been meaning to for a long time. I thought it was visually intoxicating in a classic New York way. I don't think that the story was as great as I was hoping for it to be.
Okay.
But I think the acting was good, and I'm glad that I watched it. This is not going to be a movie that like I rewatch a million times. The car chase, I'll talk about that when we get there.
A thumbs up?
I think it's kind of mid to be honest.
Really? Okay. Well,
The
maybe
chase with we're talking about the chase with the train, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
once
he's
you
chasing a
know-
train.
Well, yeah, maybe once you know like what they actually did to make it, it'll raise it up. But like if you're not
Fine.
impressed by it, I don't know. But okay.
You're just chasing a train that's underneath you. But so like it, I was so when I heard this
Yeah.
and I said that I was gonna watch a French Connection, my friend said, "Oh my God, what about this car chase?" And I was like, "This is really cool." And then it's not really a car chase. It's he's following a train,
Well, he's racing after a train, yeah.
and you know the path the train is gonna take.
But it's still like you're dealing with traffic and stuff. We'll
Okay,
get to the
we'll
car
get
chase
there.
when we get to the car chase.
So yes, so I enjoyed this movie. I think that it does have like a nice texture to it. It does feel realistic for sure. But and then there was like parts of the story that this is a very much just like don't explain movie that I thought maybe could use some explanations in some points, because I was like, are we still is like all these guys kind of look the same too because of the time. And like nobody really uses anybody's name, which is interesting. So like I'm kind of just like following along at points, and I'm like, what the fuck is everybody talking about, and who's doing what? But sure, I did enjoy it.
Well, the main cops, I mean, Gene Hackman, you know from your beloved Royal Tenenbaums.
Gene Hackman, yes,
You also have Roy Scheider, Chief Brody from Jaws. Like those are the two main
100%.
guys.
Jaws and Gene Hackman.
Then
Yep,
there's French people, and then there's some other people. Like I think that like
You don't think it matters? Yeah.
There's two cops. They're the two that we're following, the two main guys who
There's
obviously everybody knows.
Sal, who's like the connection.
Sure. I mean, I don't like he matters, but he doesn't matter. But then I think there's like other cops and there's French people. Like that's basically it. Like there's the guy who gets shot at the end.
Who got shot at the end? I had that. That's
We'll
the
talk
last
about
note that I
I
have.
wrote it down. There's also some other stuff that's like intentionally not explained, but Mulderig, who is the guy who like got shot at the end, like the other cop, like I don't know that he super matters. I mean, he might, and people who like, you know, love this movie probably be like, oh, he's the most, whatever. But no, I think it's like two cops. There's like other cops who are like, I realized while watching this movie that I was like, oh shit, I haven't taken notes in like 10 minutes. I'm just like watching this movie.
Same,
and so
'cause
I
I
just
was-
like
I
wrote
was
down a bunch
watching
of
it.
things. And I think what's good about it is that like, and maybe what's tough watching it today and having seen so much other stuff is this is so very like
monumental for the time type
it
situation
like led to so many
again.
other things, and so like
Yes.
seeing two guys who like believe in a thing but nobody else believes them, and then having to do it and like having to prove it or whatever, like you've seen before or seen a lot since, and maybe you haven't seen it better, but like it doesn't seem as fresh or whatever. Maybe, I don't know, but I think that there's stuff here. I think they're both really good. I I think it's like I kind of think it's like a miracle that this movie was made.
I think to your point that I think you were kind of like tiptoeing around is like it is very captivating. I found myself like watching it. It was like a beautiful picture. Like I'm like looking at it and then I'm like, what is actually happening here? And then it would like there would be like something that happens.
I think it's also a little bit, and I'm not directly comparing it, although I don't know that it's necessarily an unfair comparison, but like I think it's a little bit like The Wire, where it's not going to hold your hand in
100%.
terms of like these are just cops
110%.
talking like cops, and it's just lingo and interrogation techniques, and you either understand it or you don't. Like when he's like, "You picking your feet in Poughkeepsie," like there's like that he keeps saying that over
What does
and
that
over
mean?
again. So I have stuff about that. Apparently, it's based on actual good cop, bad cop interrogations done by the real cops, and he would say that and it would confuse people, and they'd be like, "I don't know what you're talking about," but and they would like inadvertently.
Oh, because
blurt
that's what
out.
they're trying to explain to you. Because by the end, the guy's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "You were sitting on the edge of the bed, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." Like, have you ever been to Poughkeepsie? So,
So
okay,
yeah,
so he's just like
apparently a
getting
lot of
him
what
to
he
say
did
yes.
was bravado to seize control and make sure that all these suspects, most of them dealers, often users, would do what they told them to do. So he's just like, I know you're doing this. I know you're holding bags. I know you're picking your feet at Poughkeepsie. He's like, I don't know what, I guess, yeah, I'm holding, like, whatever. Like, it's that kind of thing.
Interesting. Okay, that makes sense. But I didn't get that. I was like, is this like an inside joke or
No, because
something from a
I
book?
rewound it and then I Googled it and people still don't really know. Like, it doesn't mean anything. Like, people are like, oh, that's probably slang for like dealing drugs. It's not. It's just like it's like a nonsense thing that just like, I don't know what you're talking about. Or, so the movie opens with Gene Hackman as Santa. And I forgot this. I mean, I've seen this movie once 15 years ago, 20 years ago, whatever. And when we get to the Letterboxd review, it will make sense. I was like, I don't know what this means, whatever, but we'll get there when we get there. I didn't pick up
Doesn't
the
open
Christmas
there.
thing.
It opens in Marseille. Or
It
Marseille.
opens in Marseille, and we see like the drug dealers, and there's like a car component to it, right? And they're
First
just
of
trying to
all,
figure out how to
I
get
want
the
to point
heroin.
out. I want to point out that it opens. It says Marseille.
Yeah.
We see a pizza shop and a guy eating pizza, and that is hilarious to me that the Italians have already run over France. It's amazing. You show me France, and they're not eating a baguette. He's eating pizza.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then we cut to
Then we cut to
Gene
America.
Hackman's
Gene Hackman's Santa, and this is apparently a real thing that he did. That all the drug dealers would like know all the cops, and they'd see a cop and they'd run away, and whatever they couldn't bust him. The real cops who were the basis for the movie cops, one of them would dress like Santa because he's like, nobody's gonna think that Santa's like a narco cop, right? So he would dress
Exactly,
as Santa.
it's smart.
And they
you do
busted,
like
dozens
Salvation
of
Army or
guys.
something,
Yeah.
yeah. Because you're like Salvation Army. You get to stand out there. You're on the street. They don't recognize you have a beard. You're already in a costume.
Yep.
It makes beautiful sense. I love that part.
So they busted like dozens of dealers over a couple of years just by doing this because it was so successful and so like outside the box. But apparently they also had to shoot that opening scene 27 times, and like Gene Hackman was just like pissed that he had to keep doing it. But like in this scene, like it just starts off like a street chase, and like the guy like slashes a knife at Roy Scheider and cuts his arm. And then when we get to the Poughkeepsie thing, and he's just like, I'm going to have to hear this guy talking about his bowling all winter. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? But it's just like, he hurt his arm.
That's what
Yes.
he's saying. He's saying he's going to be on IR now. And
But he's like,
I
he's
have to hear
throwing
it.
so much of this guy. And he's just like, I don't know what you're talking about, but fine. Yes, I'm holding. It's fine. Like, what, you know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah.
So there's that whole, like, did you pick your feet in Poughkeepsie? I have to listen to bowling. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Like, just whatever you need. Just let's get out of here.
That's kind of cool. I like the picking your feet in Poughkeepsie thing being nonsense makes it better for me, honestly.
Right. It's just a thing. Cause then later, I think when they're at the precinct and his boss is like, still picking your feet, and he just kind of like smiles or whatever, just like, this guy just says this thing all the time.
Is this a Wire? Like, okay, so this movie is so much an inspiration for season 2 of The Wire, right? Like this is like
Like the docks and stuff.
the docks, the longshoremen, the picking your feet in Poughkeepsie reminded me of the when what's his name, when they go to the thing and he's like, how many steps are you, where are you at, you know, and he's like, you are 2 feet northwest of this corner, blah 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 blah, like, you need to know, they change the street signs around, whatever, right? And that's very much felt like the picking, like, he's like, oh, you still like when Carver knows what he said, like he walks into his office and he's like, where are you at, you know, because like he knows the speech that he gave him type situation. It feels like this is a giant inspiration for the Wire, so I love that part of it too.
I think that there's a lot of this that like what I like about this is seeing people who are good at their job doing what they do and not like movie hand-holding babysitting where it's just like, and here's
I
how
do
the
like
cops
that.
are going to like go through this. Like we just see them like busting up that restaurant and like looking for the drugs and the knives under the thing and like making the milkshake and whatever. And there's just a lot of stuff.
That one felt very weird because it is so racist, but like it is overtly racist, uses a slur racism.
Well, so
like,
apparently there's the slur like never trust an N-word. He says the N-word like Gene Hackman, and then Schreider's like it could have been white. He says never trust anybody, which is this feels more just like don't trust him, don't trust anybody, right?
but I mean, but they're like specifically targeting
Right.
an entirely black bar
And apparently
and
Gene Hackman
fucking with them.
kept cringing at that.
What, him having to say the slur?
The real Doyle like said that, and they're like, but he was a good cop, but just like he had some beliefs, but like he was a good. It's just like okay, guys, like what? All right.
Yeah, good for Gene Hackman. Awesome.
But that bar where they're making the milkshake, I did not know this, and this is actually kind of the second time that this kind of crosses over with our podcast. But the bar where he makes it became a Popeye's Chicken, and Popeye's Chicken is named after this Popeye.
No,
That's what the internet says, and that's
that's
also
fucking cool.
if you
Very
remember,
cool.
it's a mad world. There was like the X of the palm trees that became the In-N-Out logo. So like these movies that we're covering from the 60s or 70s then inspire these fast food chains, either their name or their logo or whatever. But yeah,
That's
Popeye's
really
Chicken,
funny.
founded by Arthur Copeland, who named his chain after Popeye Doyle.
That's really, really fucking cool, to be honest. Yeah.
Bananas.
Wait, because of from the movie or from the book? Does it matter? Did it distinguish?
Let me look up Popeye's Chicken.
Like, did he name it after the cop? Did he name it
I
after
think
the
it's
book,
probably
or did
the
he
movie.
the movie?
Alvin Copeland claimed the name. He named the stores after fictional detective Jimmy Popeye Doyle in the film French Connection, which came out a year before the chain was founded, not the comic strip character Popeye the Sailor. However, the company's early brand became tied to the cartoon star. So they're like, so he's like, it was this thing, and then it became another thing. But like he said, the guy who founded it said, no, it's Popeye Doyle.
Cool.
And the fact that like it came out a year after this movie, it's like, yeah, probably. So here's where I wrote down my notes, the things I like about this movie. So I mentioned a few of them already. Both normal guys talking nonsense, doing their job, just like shooting the shit, like talking about like whatever.
Yeah, that's cool. I like
Feels
that
very
too.
like The Wire. Feels like very just,
Yes.
guys. Like I don't want to hear cops talk about cop stuff. I don't hear cops talk about like.
Yeah, they didn't do the thing that we get in every movie now, which like, hey, we are the cops, and we are going to go through the back door
Yep.
and arrest the one black guy that has an afro because he's our target.
Yep.
And you're like, no, they're not doing that. They just like do shit.
They're both really good at their job. They get along with each other. They seem to like each other genuinely. They seem to trust and like be friends with one another. They're both charming and likable, like in a gritty '70s cop sort of way. I mean, also just Gene Hackman and Roy Scheider just have so much goodwill just based on like some certain roles. You know what I mean? Just like okay, I'm always in
Oh
your
yeah,
corner.
yeah. Big fan.
'70s Brooklyn looks so grimy. It looks so good
Dude,
and so real.
I fucking love it. That is in my notes as well. I have a longing for a New York that I never experienced. Like maybe we got like early 90s New York was already completely changed compared to 70s and 80s New York. And like we were just talking, right? We go to Manhattan and you're just like I kind of dread it most of the time. But like I would love a Manhattan where there's parts of this movie where they're driving and there's nobody on the fucking road.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I wish I could go to like a place that had like warehouses and there's like a truck just like parked half on the sidewalk and like it just exists in a world that we will never see in New York again.
There was one, I don't remember the name of the store in the movie, but it was like a maternity shop and it's just like on the corner and the exterior is just all brown wood. And I'm like, this would never, like everything's like so like commoditized and all looks the same and it's all metal and plastic and whatever. And this is just like, no, like this is like 70s Brooklyn. I also think so I've been watching a lot of like 70s and 80s horror movies because I've been catching up on a podcast that covers a lot of those. And like, there's such a difference between real sets and like sets and houses or sets and whatever. And like, they're like walking into like real bars and shooting in real bars. And like, it just feels real and earned and
God,
grimy.
that bar feels so awesome. Like that's like a bar that like I want to be at. Like wood and dark and fucking drugs everywhere. And like this is a place that I would be excited to be at.
Yeah. Score is great. I think there's
Score
not a
is
lot of
excellent.
score, just like pulsing and like there's like the right amount and the timing and everything is really
I agree.
good. I like watching them throughout the movie, like divide and conquer to tail the suspects. Like they'll have like one guy follow, and then like he'll get like caught or whatever, he'll be seen, but then like Roy Scheider will pick up and like he'll follow somebody else, and then like he'll go in, and then two guys will come out and be like, you get him, and then there's different people. Like just watching them do all the cop shit, I think is really good. Similar to the above, like grimy 70s subways, like when they're just like, I'll have a grape
I said
drink.
this too. Yep, I have this too. Grape drink, the little stand inside the subway, and also just like how dirty the subway tile is. Like even like the subways still are dirty. Like we've been on them, but like it's like new and dirty. It's like newer and dirty because they still are the same newness.
Mm-hmm.
They're just like a different level of like 60 years of soot.
Yep.
Versus it being just like filthy for being filthy.
Right. And like he's eating like an apple on a stick. I'm like, I wouldn't trust that apple. Like, what are you doing? Like, I know that he's like only doing it just like to blend in, but just like, bleh.
I had a thought. I was like, also, I do belong in this era because New York is running on sugar and drugs at this time, apparently.
Different kinds of sugar.
No, yeah.
No
like,
sugar,
as someone
no
that's a
sugar.
candy person, he's just grape drink, orange drink, ice cream cones, candy apples.
Yep.
Like, everything that they're eating is shit, and then they're chasing drugs.
Yep. It's perfect. It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
And then the other thing that I wrote down on this list before I got back into taking some notes was like seeing all sides. Like we see the cop side of things, we see the criminal side of things, we see informants, we see other antagonistic cops. And I feel like sometimes, like I think there's value sometimes, like when you're following cops, to only see cops well, they don't really know what the criminals know. Like, why should we as the audience know what the criminal knows?
Be privy to it. Yeah.
I think there's something about just seeing them like, you know, like be with his like little like French girlfriend or whatever. Like there's like things, or like just doing the deal or doing the, you know, the trade at the end. Like I think this movie does a really good job of showing all sides, but being like, you kind of see where they're coming from, but also we're kind of hoping for them to get busted, even though in the end, William Friedkin's like, you think you want like some kind of like satisfaction of justice. Like basically nobody's gonna be happy. If you want like the bad guys to be caught and persecuted, just like, no, sentence suspended, reduced, blah, 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 all good. It's like, okay, shit.
It's the end of Too Fast right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he's gonna get out and kill you, and he's like, he ain't getting out, and he's like, yeah, he is.
So a question I had for you that I didn't have trivia about: are they really spending like $40 on a car in that auction, like a police auction?
I think so.
That's crazy.
I think so. Because we've watched enough of these movies that like a new car or like a used car would be like $100 or whatever. So if it's like a scrap car, then $12 or whatever would make sense, right? You're like,
it's like few, like $40 then is like $320 today. So it's not like a ton of money, but like you can see like the police just like busted this like drug dealer. They have his car, like they just need to get rid of it, like $500.
They're junking
right?
it. Yeah. And a lot of them like aren't gonna work. They're all smashed up, whatever. So yeah,
that was crazy. The other crazy thing is when they are testing or like cooking the heroin, like they're looking for the level of purity.
Love this part.
So apparently, according to Friedkin on the commentary, they're using real heroin in the scene. Like they're not using cornstarch; they're like testing real heroin.
Oh, okay, interesting. I don't know this test method, the methodology of what he's doing, because he puts it in mineral oil, and then he tests the temperature that it will raise to.
So it goes up to like 240 or something. He's just like, that's like mind blowing. He says 89% pure junk, best I've ever seen.
Like, I don't know the chemistry behind how that would work and why the temperature would indicate purity. Like myself, I have zero clue what that is and if that's real or not. Because like, what would it change in mineral oil? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
And then like
as somebody that studied a lot of chemistry,
when the chemist is there at the end and he's testing it again, it goes from yellow to pink. I'm just like, oh shit, they fucked up. And I was just like, no, but that's a sign of like that's the good shit or whatever.
Well, that's how you test drugs now. Like there's like different acids and bases that you can add to like reagent things that you can add, and then you do color tests. That's how like the cops do it. If you watch Cops now, they put drugs in a baggie, they crack a little thing, and it's like it turned blue. It's cocaine, right? So like that one made more sense to me. The mineral oil and the heat thing was like, I don't know. I
mean, I don't think that they're really showing, like they're not showing you how to like manufacture illicit drugs, but if you remember the beginning of To Live and Die in LA with Willem Dafoe, like basically step by step showing you how to counterfeit money. It's like he's just like, we're going to show you how to be criminals. Like if you want to like be like just take notes, because like this is like what real criminal shit is like.
Yeah. I respect that too. And anytime I get any type of interesting chemistry glass, shown in a movie or anything like that, it gets me excited. Maybe chemistry class is my control room, Joey.
Well, speaking of chemistry, this was an IMDb trivia thing that I dropped, but it just like Popeye used the pork pie hat, which was not really seen again on screen until Walter White was the Popeye hat with the pork pie hat in I'm just like, okay, so like they're wearing the same hat, but like one's a cop, one's a criminal, but like the Heisenberg hat, respect the chemistry, is the pork pie hat that Popeye's. But I'm like, it's not like trivia. It's like it's just like two guys in movies
they're not
wearing
the only
hats.
they're not the only two guys that ever wear this hat either. But whatever, yeah.
I don't know. But yes, seeing Glass in film, I can see that being like, oh.
Yeah, because there's so many times that we see like you watch CSI or whatever, and they pipette a drip of water, and they're like somebody's face comes up, and you're like, that's definitely not how that works at all as a scientist. But like just seeing them I don't know if the chemistry of the mineral oil shit works, but at the same time, I was like, you know what? That's fucking cool, anyways.
So there's a scene earlier in the movie where there's like. They're trailing someone in a car, and then there's like a traffic jam on a bridge, and they like get away, and I'm like, is this the chase? It's like, no, because I knew the chase was coming.
Same. I was waiting for the chase too. Yeah.
But then the chase sort of is surprising in that they just like the French people are like, that cop's a problem. We need to take him out, and they hire a sniper.
Yeah, they're like, hey, we're gonna get this deal done in a week.
Yep.
They're like, we're gonna be gone. This cop is on our ass. He keeps following me, and they're like, let's just kill him.
And so they hire a sniper who has kind of bad aim because he just kills a new mom. He doesn't kill Popeye, but he kills a new mom. And it becomes a foot chase, and then he gets on a train. Gene Hackman gets in a car, and away we go.
And away we go.
So here's the background for this. So they shot this without getting proper permits from the city.
That's fucking sick. Good on you guys.
So
sick.
Part of the NYPD tactical force helped control traffic, but most of it was achieved by assistant directors with the help of off-duty officers, many of whom had been involved in the actual case. So like, you're telling our story, cool. Like we can help you.
Oh, cool. So that's fun. You got people to bring their own cars to the car meet type situation. Yep. You know what I mean? You're like, you guys want to be in this? And they're like, yeah, we do. Like, fuck
also,
yeah.
In that one of the early bar scenes, I don't know if it's the one they break up or whatever, but like every single person there is just an off-duty cop. They're just like, oh yeah, cool. Like we'll be in here.
Fun.
So
cool.
They're all just like around. So the assistant directors, under the supervision of Terrence Donnelly, cleared traffic for approximately 5 blocks in each direction. Permission was given to literally control the traffic signals, like the stoplights or whatever.
Yeah.
But even so, they illegally continued the chase into sections with no traffic control where they had to evade real traffic and pedestrians. Many of the near collisions in the movie were real and not planned, other than the one where he almost hits a baby. Like, that was planned. They're like, we need to make sure that we don't actually hit this baby.
Yeah, for sure.
But a lot of the things, like, where he's, like, swerving, it's just like, no, like, some guy who's just, like, in his car, like, crossing a set that doesn't know it's a set or whatever.
That's wild to me, dude. You could never, ever, ever do that.
Okay,
today.
it gets even crazier. So then a flashing police light's placed on top of the car to warn bystanders. Cameras mounted on the car's bumper for the shots from the car's point of view. Gene Hackman was doing some of the driving, but the extremely dangerous stunts were performed by Bill Hickman, who's a different guy, with Friedkin filming from the back seat. And Friedkin himself was there because he's like, every other director is married with kids. I'm a single guy. If I die, I'm going to die. They can't die because they have families.
Do you know this famous quote by, I think it was Fernando Alonso. He's an F1 driver. And they asked him once, like, but I'm making this up. I'm just telling the story. I don't know who said it. They were like coming down and like they were both coming into a turn. And they were like, how did you know he would brake before you? And he's like, he has a wife and kids. Like, if I die, I die.
Suicidal
like, I knew he would break. Yeah. So, awesome. Sick.
So you're just like, yeah, no, I can die. Like, I'm going to get the shot, but I can die. Whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
So the most famous shot of the chase is made from the front bumper mount and is a low-angle point of view of the streets racing by. The director of photography,
great camera work,
wrote that it was undercranked to enhance the sense of speed. So basically, like they shoot it less so that when you raise it from 18 to 24 frames per second, it goes faster. So it seems
and it
crazier.
Looks faster. Yeah.
His contention is borne out when you see a car at a red light whose muffler is pumping smoke at an accelerated rate. Other shots involve stunt drivers who were supposed to be barely miss hitting the speeding car, but due to errors, there were accidental collisions that occurred and were left in the final film. the car crash during the final sequence at the intersection of Stillwell and 86 was unplanned and included because of the realism.
Let me look that up. Is that the where he like parks the car? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
before that, he's just like getting there. But the
Okay.
man, he hits a guy in a car, and that guy had just left his house and was like a few blocks from home, gets hit by a car in the thing. And so the producers later like paid to fix his car, but they're just like, fuck, like we just got to keep going, got to keep shooting.
Yeah. So he was in a hit and run that was a movie.
Yep.
That's pretty fun. Not fun if it happened to you, but it's a fun story to read about now.
So in addition to coordinating all of the ground stuff for the chase, they also need to coordinate the train stuff to like keep up, because he's like tracking the guy. The sniper gets on a train. Hackman gets caught outside or whatever, and he has to like again commandeer a car.
Yeah, because they do the like cat and mouse that he's like he puts the cane, he comes on.
No,
he
that's a
comes
different
off
guy.
the-
That's
oh,
the
sorry,
that's the
that's
French
right.
boss.
You're right.
But
You're
yes,
right. You're
but
right.
same
You're
thing.
right.
Like
Sorry.
he fucks up again in the train.
Yeah.
And so he's talking to the New York Transit Authority and tells exactly what he needs. And a transit authority employee, some people say it was a conductor, said, I need 40 grand and a one-way ticket to Jamaica. They're like, why do you need that? He's like, well, because when they find out what I'm going to do, they're going to fire me.
That's pretty sick, to be honest with you.
And so they're
That's
like,
fucking
they're
sick.
like, fine, here's 40 grand and here's a one-way ticket. So the movie, they shoot the movie comes out, the guy gets fired and nobody knows where he is. Like he just like took the money and like literally left town.
Sick. That's fucking incredible. I love it. He's like, yeah, I can make it happen. But like, I'm gonna lose my fucking job, and I need go money and a ticket out of here. Okay, yeah.
So then, separate from that guy, the conductor on the train in the movie was the actual conductor, and a guy named Bob Marone. The actor who was supposed to play the conductor didn't show up, and the transit authority wouldn't let just an actor operate an actual train anyway. And so they're like, okay, you can just like use this guy. He can be in your movie. But I think he's the guy who like has the heart attack and dies in the movie. But like, he's just like an actual subway conductor, because like they're like,
Cool.
fuck you, we're not letting an actor use like a live subway train conduct that way.
Exactly. Makes sense.
And then Bill Hickman, who is Agent Molderig, the guy that gets shot at the end, did some of the driving the car chase. He's an expert driver. He also did car chase stuff in Bullet, which is crazy to be driving in both
Very
of them.
cool. Yes.
He was a hitman in that movie, and he was a close friend of James Dean. And the day that James Dean died, he was in a car behind James Dean, pulling his car in a trailer.
Very cool fact. Very,
Which is
very,
crazy.
very.
But
There's
it's
lots
just-
of cool facts about this.
But
movie.
that's like the thing where it's just like, I'm like, there's so much trivia, but like all of this is fascinating. It's just like, it's crazy. They're just like, fuck it. We're just gonna speed through the streets in New York, and if people get hit, we'll pay for it. It's fine.
I have a thought, Joey, that I had where he parks the car. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember where he parks
At
the
the
car
end?
when he at the end of this chase?
Like it's kind of like a no, do not drive zone, sort of under a bridge, under an elevated train station.
Do you know what it looked like to me? 1,000,000%.
What?
They're in Brooklyn.
Yep.
It's on like a weird slanted corner.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like right where fucking Other Half is, dude.
Oh, maybe.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Like if you come around the corner of Other Half, like where the McDonald's is, there's Other Half Brewing is a famous brewery that's in Brooklyn, and I couldn't find any street signs to figure out if it is where it is now, but it looked very, very similar in my brain to where we park and go to Other Half, like around the corner, Joey. Like it was like
I'm looking up. It might be. I'm looking up the
it's
subway
very,
line.
very close.
The subway line is the BMT West End line, which use the B and sometimes the N.
The
It
N,
ran
the N train. It was the
beneath
N train.
Elevated tracks along Stillwell Avenue, 86th Street, and New Utrecht.
It has to be like right there, dude. It felt like it was right there.
Is there more than one Other Half in Brooklyn?
No, there's just one. I might be wrong. It felt like it, and we were in Brooklyn, and like when the camera was looking down that road where the car stops, when it like he gets out and it looks kind of like out the passenger quarter panel. It felt like it was like right on the street where Other Half is.
I'm trying to figure out where like 86th is, because I don't know where that is. Oh no, 86th is way, way, way south. It's not. It's a different area, but
Okay.
it does like where you're picturing it is like the slanted like a thing below a thing.
You know what I'm talking
Yes,
about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks similar. I just was like, is this right where fucking Other Half is? Because that would be so crazy.
No, yeah, because like it looks like there's actually two Other Half. There's one that's in what neighborhood is this? Sort of near Williamsburg. Well, I guess they're kind of both in Williamsburg. One's in Domino Park, but then the other, like where this was, I think, is like way down by like Homecrest, Bensonhurst Sheepshead Bay, like way south Brooklyn.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's
So-
where actual other half is. Yeah,
Got it. Okay.
or whatever.
I was just thinking, like, it's crazy to me that, like, a car could beat a train to the next train station.
Well, there's lots of stops and stuff.
But, like, no, because he says to the guy, he's like, where's the next train station? He goes, 86th. It's like, okay. He just drives there. So, like, to deal with New York City traffic, and again, this is what you're saying before, like, maybe sometimes there's just, like, not cars around or whatever.
No,
like, it's-
it was much less populated. Like obviously they were controlling the lights, which has a huge factor in it. But yes,
But, like, even, like, if you're not imagining, like, the making of the movie, just, like, the actual navigation, like, you're racing a train. Like, it's not like you're going 2 stations down because you're like, well, there's going to be stoppage time for, like, letting people out, letting
because he
people
might get
on.
off. He might get off. Yeah,
You have to go to the next one. It's just like, man, that's crazy.
yeah.
But then by that point, he just, he says, don't stop, don't stop. They keep going. And he just has to keep driving. So, like, the chase just continues in a way that, like, is very cool. And also, I just love the roar of the engine. Like, it feels
Yeah.
classic car in a way that cars don't make that sound anymore.
I'm glad you brought that up. I had a thought after the car chase, and I want to know: do you think this is a car movie?
I don't think so. I think it's a cop movie with a really good car chase in it.
That's what I landed on too, buddy. Because like I know that we're doing this for the classic car, like lap 2, and like all that stuff, but like, and there's lots of cool cars in this. Actually, and like the main crux of this movie is that the drugs are
They're
in a
smuggling drugs in
car.
cars, yeah. It's also really funny to me that, like, we'll get to that at the end where they're just like, I tore the whole thing apart except for this one thing. It's like, why would you not do that?
I know.
Like, maybe the easiest place to, like, look, and you're just like, I didn't do that.
But yeah, so I also don't think that this is really a car movie. I think that you 100% nailed it. I think it's a cop movie that has a good car chase.
I mean, I think it's also kind of like Fast Five, right? In that there's more car stuff in Fast Five, but it's like, this is just a heist. It's like we're stealing money from crooked cops.
Fair. Very fair. Very fair. I like that comparison. That's a good comp for me.
In this car chase, when they're in the train and the guy hijacks the thing and he shoots the cop who's pursuing him, there's really, really bad fake blood, but I like that they just went for it. Like, it's just like bright red in a way that blood isn't.
Yeah.
And it's funny that, like, in 1971, and, like, I've seen lots of movies like this. It's just like, no, we're okay. Like, we're just going to accept that that's blood. It's not like real blood. It's just, like, very fake blood. It's like, okay, sure.
Yeah, cornstarch and red dye 40, so.
You're spending so much time and effort and money and logistics or whatever to make the car chase itself look good, but you, like, can't darken the blood a little bit?
Have you ever seen blood or dried blood? Like, lots of it? Like, if you do, they're a very distinct color that I don't think anyone even now really nails.
Right.
Like, it's hard to recreate this color. And, like, you also see, like, in a lot of movies that they'll be like, oh, man, like, look at this old blood. And you're like, no, if that was old blood, it would already be, like,
Brown?
brown
Yeah.
and red, like, reddish brown, and it would be dry, like,
But this is, like,
coagulated.
almost like pomegranate pink or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like,
But it pops better on screen,
It does
especially
pop.
with all the washed out colors
Yep.
of the like New York and the cameras and stuff. So I get the idea of it, but you're right. Yes, I think this all the time, but I've committed to the bit for years because like if you've seen a lot of like real blood, you're just like, oh, this isn't what it would look like anyways.
I think there's also something, like, interesting about the car chase in this movie in that it's not, like, they're not chasing the main drug guy. It's not like, oh, he's got the money, he's got the drugs in his car. It's just like, no, this is like a hired goon or whatever who, like,
Yes.
took a shot at me. I'm going to go get him. And then at the end, he doesn't. And I think there was, like, some controversy that people, or maybe the cop or whatever, people criticized the cop for, like, because the sniper gets out of the car and Gene Hackman's at the bottom of the stairs and he goes, freeze. And the guy starts running away and he shoots him in the back. And I think people were just like, that doesn't really feel like self-defense. It kind of feels like murder. They're like, well, it's more, it's whatever. But
But it doesn't seem like Gene Hackman is like tied to the moral
no,
ethics of being
and
a cop.
also,
either.
like, it's not, like, it feels like to me the movie cliche is like you do all this different stuff, you spend cost millions of dollars in city damage or whatever, like you better get information from this guy. He's just like, no, he took a shot at me, I'm gonna kill him. It's like there's no information. It's like who hired you or whatever. Just like no, I'm just gonna shoot this guy in the back. It's like,
But I mean, he kind of knows who hired him, and
I
he
know,
kinda
but
knows
it's still just like okay, look, I'm not trying to catch him. I'm trying to murder this man.
him.
Yeah,
yeah. If I mean, he shot at him,
Yeah.
right? He's like, I'm gonna get my fucking revenge. It's a 70s, Joey. There's no fucking street cameras. Nobody has a ring that's gonna show what happened. He's just like, he shot at me, and you're like, okay, cool. And then they're just gonna file a report and bag the body. They don't care.
So they get back to the case, and by this point, the cops are like, "This is a dead case. You're wasting time. You're wasting money. There's nothing here." And they stake out a car, like in the middle of like dumpy warehouse, like ghetto Brooklyn.
Well, they know that the actor's car is like they're onto it. They know that they dropped the car there.
Right. They
to
follow
be
where the
picked up.
car is dropped, and so they're just seeing like who's going to pick up the car, and they see like a couple people like doing laps or whatever, but they're just like regular car thieves. Like they're not the people they want. There's
Yeah.
also something that like. This is trivia on IMDb in the spoiler section. It's never explained why they parked that car there.
It's a drop off. It's the gone in 60 seconds. Why would you steal a car that's left unlocked in the hood? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's that to me.
But like they're there for hours and hours. And like how long are they going to leave that car there when like if they're like, okay, I'm going to park it here at 11 p.m. The guy's going to come at 5 a.m. It's like you're parking in a shitty area and you're going to leave it there unattended for 6 hours.
Because nobody's stupid enough to steal a car that's parked. That's the whole point, right?
I guess so.
But yes. But yeah, to me, that doesn't... They do stake it out for a long time. I think that's a part of the movie thing, but they need to, like, let it get cool, right? Like, if the cops are onto them, they need them to give up on watching the car and
Right.
being like, maybe they just abandoned this car, so you give it, like, 18, 24, whatever hours, and then you're like, nah, I'm gonna go pick up that... The other guy's gonna come pick up that car.
But even like to the point you're saying like there's no like ring cameras or whatever, there's no traffic light or whatever, there's no like air tag to like know where the car, like if the car goes missing, the car goes missing. It's like not the car that you care about, but it's like the $120 million or the $80 million or whatever in heroin that's like lining the car. It's like that's just, I don't know. It seems risky.
But to their point, the cops took the car completely apart and nobody found the drugs either. You know what I mean? So like,
I did write down.
It's
like,
not like the
where's
cops were
Hobbs
like-
when you need him, right? Because you just like there's
Yeah.
there's never nothing. There's always something.
yeah, but it's not like the drugs were like on the passenger seat, right? Like, you know what I mean? They're like hidden in the car. So like,
Right.
I have a feeling in my mind, Joey, that somebody is staking out watching that car, like different goons, different snipers, whatever, are watching that car. And they're just also watching if police or somebody else is parked there and they're waiting for them to leave type situation. That we don't see any of this, but in my head, it's like there's somebody that has eyes on this car from a window
Just watching
somewhere.
and it's like, okay, so if it gets like boosted or lifted or whatever, then yeah.
Like, then I'm going to go fuck that dude up. Like, there's like a bunch of people that are watching the car in my mind.
So they're just trying to figure out where the drugs are. Irv says, listen, I ripped everything out of there except for the rocker pound. He says, come on, Irv, what the hell is that? And then they do that. But like, it's Roy Scheider is just like, how much the car weigh? And it's like $47.95. It's like, well, the manual says $46.75. That's 120 pounds off. It's like, when it came in, it was weighing this thing too. And then they're like, okay, what didn't you look at? They pull the thing. And then somehow, even though they like look like they're just like federal
completely
agents,
apart.
yeah, they're federal agents like tearing through a bedroom in a movie, right? We're just like emptying drawers and like tearing apart things. Like this car is
Everything's off. There's no wheels. There's no fucking there's no oil pan anymore. Everything is gone.
somehow they put
Yes.
it back in a way that is so pristine and so beautiful and so original.
I really thought they switched out the cars, Joey.
They might have.
No. I thought that they were gonna.
Well, they couldn't have
like,
because the drugs. Well, I guess they could have undid the things or whatever.
but it was so 1-to-1, and because of the timing of like how this plays out in movie time, I was like, oh, they had swapped the cars, and when they go to get it, they're gonna be like, there's no drugs in this car. You know what I mean? Like it made more sense to me that they had like a dummy car that was like the same thing that they could just like switch the plates on type situation than like they put it all back together. Wow. But also the hubris of two criminals going into the police station or the impound lot and demanding their car full of drugs back.
Yeah, and
is
being annoyed that
incredible.
like, they sent us to 3 different precincts. They sent us here.
Listen,
they sent us here, whatever.
motherfuckers.
Just like,
Yeah.
okay.
I need this car back now. And you're like, okay.
Well, there's also like equally like hubris where the cops are just like, here's your 80 million in drugs. Just like go at it. And like, we're going to trust that we can get you again. It's like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that they're like real king shit in this movie.
They do. They definitely do. But I was like, okay, they're gonna get the car. It's a different car. They're gonna wind up the thing. It's gonna cause a riot that like somebody stole the drugs. Who stole the drugs? Type situation. But there was like not enough runtime left in the movie, and I was like, how is this gonna play out?
So the mechanic Irv is a guy who's actually named Irving Abrahams, who was the mechanic who helped find the drugs in the car. Like he's a real NYPD mechanic that they're just like, be in our movie. It's like, okay.
That's so cool. I love how so inspirational to The Wire. I hate to keep saying it, but it's like very, very The Wire because we know that like a bunch of like what's her name, Snoop in The Wire is in jail because she is actually a criminal. So
Yep.
like a lot of these people were just like hood ass people, or like the cops were actually the cops.
So the cops give the car back to the criminals full of drugs. They then let them go make the deal. They go to like some warehouse abandoned somewhere. Bunch of people with money, bunch of people with drugs. They make the thing. And then as they're like, it feels so like loosey goosey. Be like, no, we know that there is, I think it's 80 million or maybe 120. Like there's like,
No, it was $500,000.
well, they said, but like on street level, it's like $80 million or whatever. It's like $500,000.
8 million. By the time that it gets to nickel bags, it's like 8 million or something.
Still,
whatever.
Like, that's so much drugs to just be like, we're going to get you guys. Don't worry about it. Like, feels crazy. But they're leaving with the money. They put the money back in the thing. They crest over the hill. We have not talked about yet. We could do, and I don't want to talk about specifically it's a spoil because I want people to see it, whatever. But like, One Battle After Another is also a car movie.
Yeah, it kind of. I mean, in the sense that this is a car movie,
right? Like, I mean, I didn't write. I read a Substack from a guy that I really like talking about, but like specifically about like the chase sort of in that, like the big climactic car thing.
Yeah.
It's like, how has this not been done? Like, it's crazy, like the way that they're like going, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But here they like crest the hill and there's just like 40 cop cars. They're like, okay, and then they just turn around, like go back, and then there's a shootout. It's just like, this feels. Maybe like it doesn't belong at the end of this movie, but also, sure, why not?
Sure, yeah, why not? I agree.
And then Popeye shoots a cop, and he's just like, I don't give a shit.
Then Gene Hackman's like, he's fucking in here. I know he's in here. And then he just shoots a cop.
So it didn't happen in real life.
I was going to ask you, because I was like, yeah, it's dark. All of these guys kind of look the same. I don't know any of their names.
Well, at some point, like Roy Scheider comes in, she's like, "Hey, it's me." It's just like I don't know.
That part I saw. I rewound because I was like, "What the fuck just happened?" And I rewind, and I'm like, "Okay, I see him," and he's like, "He's right here," and then he just like starts shooting, and he's like, "You shot Mulder or whatever."
Mulderig, Mulderij, yeah.
Yeah.
The movie doesn't tell you who gets shot, so like. There's the shootout. All the criminals are inside. It's both sides of the deal, right? There's the drug side. There's the money side. They're all inside shooting out. All the cops are outside shooting in. A couple cops get killed. A couple criminals get killed. Whatever. Popeye and Cloudy then go inside separately, but then they meet up together. They just see a guy exit a door. Popeye shoots him, kills him. It's just a cop.
Yeah.
He's just like, what'd you do? He's just like, no, man, I saw this guy. He's fine. Like, I think he's just like, I don't give a shit. Again, maybe here, maybe it being 1971.
Shoot first, ask questions later.
He's like, I'm not going to get in trouble for this, whatever.
And he's like, who sees me? It's my partner, right? Like, what is he going to say? Like, he identified as a cop or whatever and, like, shot him. He's going to be like, no, we were under duress, and he took a shot that he saw.
Mm-hmm. And so then he, like, walks through the door. We hear 3 shots. Movie ends.
But he shoots someone else.
Well, so you don't know. I think the movie's supposed to be like, you don't know if he gets shot or somebody else gets shot or whatever. But then there's like,
fair enough. Okay.
Where are they now? But like, you know that he lived.
Yeah.
The thing here about the end is that the guy Mulder getting shot didn't actually happen, but the guy who inspired Doyle just hated that guy. He like the real cop. He's just like, he should die at the end of the movie. And apparently the FBI was pissed when they watched this movie. They're like,
really
that's not
funny.
like, you can't have cops shooting other cops, whatever. Like, that's not. Whatever. Oh no! Mulderig was based on an FBI agent, and he was pissed. He's just like, I didn't die. Like, what the fuck? But like, he's just like an asshole that Doyle didn't. But also, Doyle's an asshole, right? You know what I mean? So like, it's
Doyle's kind of an asshole, yeah.
But then, yeah, there's the gunshot off screen. Who died? No one knows. But there's a where are they now? And Doyle and Russo get transferred out of narcotics and get reassigned. That didn't happen in real life. They were split up a couple years later after several more large cases. Like, they eventually, like, got reassigned, but like, it wasn't like because of their actions in this movie or whatever, right?
Yeah, because they didn't kill a random cop, right? So
the other guy that is revealed is Charnier, one of the big French guys, escaped the country, it says. The guy who inspired that character also escaped justice, fled the country, and then died peacefully in France. So there's a French Connection 2, which I have never seen, but it's a fictional continuation of the story, not based on actual events.
Interesting. Okay. And it's following that guy, I'm guessing? Is that what you're trying to apply?
I think so. Let's just see here. It's got pretty decent ratings overall, but then people who I follow watch it didn't love it. Popeye travels to Marseille to find Alan Charnier, the drug smuggler that eluded him in New York. So Roy Scheider's not in it anymore. Gene Hackman is. And then, the main guy, the guy who's doing the cat and mouse on the subway, that's the guy he follows back. Yeah.
Yeah, the cane that he stops it with the cane and then hops out and he hops back in and then.
So, and then he waves goodbye. Yeah. That guy, the guy who inspired him did get away, but they never chased after him again or whatever. And then regarding the ending in which 3 gunshots are heard off screen, Friedkin explained in his autobiography that there was an ending they filmed but didn't use. This is crazy. Where Popeye runs through the hospital moments after shooting Molderig, only to see a dark figure running toward him, thinking it's the French guy who gets away, Charnier. He shoots the figure only to realize he shot a vision of himself. Another clone of him runs at Popeye dressed as Santa Claus, and another clone as Charnier as Popeye shoots at them. The scene is meant to show Popeye's obsession destroying his mental state. However, Friedkin thought it would be out of place and had it removed, which I'm glad that he did.
Glad he did, yeah.
The final gunshots generated much praise and discussion for the ambiguity, though in a BBC documentary, Friedkin said that the ending gunshot, quote, didn't mean anything, although it might.
Oh, okay.
But he's just like, I have this crazy idea where he's going to ghost a Christmas past, present, if you just like, what?
Yeah, shooting into the hospital hallway.
It's cool. How this is the grittiest, the most this is how cops actually behave.
What if it gets surreal at the
What
end?
if we did ghosts?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad he didn't do that.
I have some other trivia, not about the scene, just about the movie in general, but do you have other thoughts, other notes, other things to say about this movie?
I like that there was a tiny shot of roller skate can hockey for no reason.
Sure, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And every other note that I have, I already cut in as I went along.
So Steve McQueen was offered a role in this movie. I would guess probably for Cloudy, though I don't know. But he's like, nah, man, I did Bullet. I don't do it again. But it's just like, man, you could have
doubled down and fucking crushed, yeah.
Roy Scheider and Gene Hackman patrolled with the cops that they were playing for a month. And Gene Hackman's just like, this is disgusting. He wanted to restrain a guy into a cop car. He's just like, they're going to sue me for impersonating a police officer. Didn't happen. But, he's just like, I don't want cops. I don't want to do this. This is gross.
Okay.
Apparently he had difficulty getting into the mindset of Popeye. And so William Friedkin just trolled him on set and just kept provoking him to get angry. And he kept
to piss him. That's good.
So apparently cool. They would do a scene and Friedkin just be like, ugh. No,
you're fucking awful at this.
You missed it, and then he just kept getting angry and angry. He was shaking his head and sighing, and even when he did a great take or whatever, just man.
He would still keep it up to piss him off.
And
That's
then apparently
awesome.
it worked so well that he almost quit. They're like, no, you got to stick around. But just guess we'll run it back, I guess.
That's really fun. That's like a coach pushing. You need to know what buttons to push,
mm-hmm.
right?
Roy Scheider also, in similar getting angry terms, stormed out of the audition. He's just like, I'm not going to get this movie. Fuck this movie. And then apparently they kept, supposedly, according to internet lore, who knows, they cast him because he stormed out. They're like, no, that's exactly what that guy would do.
That's the energy we needed.
Yeah.
That you would be like, I'm sick of their shit. And you're like, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's the guy that we want.
Mm-hmm. Cloudy, the guy who Roy Scheider is based on, decided to retire from NYPD, start a career in Hollywood. The NYPD is like, hold on, you've mishandled some evidence. We're going to bring some charges against you. And so then they bring him to court. Friedkin testifies on his behalf. Roy Scheider's also there. He gets dismissed from the police force just hours before retirement. His pension gets taken away. But then later he appeals that and comes back. But it's just no, man, I had a taste of glory. I'm going to go to Hollywood. They're like, fuck you. You're not. We're going to we'll protect our own as long as you're under our roof. But you're going to leave us and go do Hollywood shit. No, man.
But I mean, it's also kind of petty. The dude was about to retire.
Yeah.
Let the dude fucking retire and go to Hollywood. Who cares?
It was so cold while they were shooting, the cameras kept freezing, and they just had to figure out ways to warm the cameras up.
It feels cold. They capture a cold that I feel currently. It was a good time of year in where we are to watch this movie being cold outside.
And then there's the only other thing that I have is, I think this is relatively common, maybe not now, but like in French New Wave stuff and like just movies that don't have money, like instead of having like a dolly or like a track, they just literally pushed a guy in a wheelchair, like as like the dolly to follow the camera.
Oh, that's cool.
And they said that it's noticeable, like when they're doing the subway and like they're getting into the subway, I think in the cat and mouse thing, they're like pushing the guy to like get out of the chair. So it's just like kind of like, it's like smooth and like all of a sudden like wobbly as he like gets up. But like,
makes sense. Yeah.
I think that's a pretty common thing, especially like in French New Wave, where it's just like, we're going to make money. There's going to be no lighting. There's going to be none of this, whatever. Like we have no whatever. Wheelchairs, it works just as well. So they did that here. But apparently there's one part where it's like, well, you know.
I like ingenuity. I respect it.
Mm-hmm. But that's all the trivia. Let's watch the trailer for this because I have never seen the trailer.
I'm curious.
For it. This is Rotten Tomatoes Classic Trailers, The French Connection, 1971. Trailer number 1. It is 2 minutes and 46 seconds long.
Oh, we're getting a long one, too. Okay.
Top comment, thumbs up if you came here to see the trailer because Gene passed away. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
All right.
I'm ready whenever you are, brother. I'm queued up.
3, 2, 1, play.
All right, Popeye's here. Get your hands on your heads. Get off the bar and get on the wall. What's my name?
Popeye Doyle. If he doesn't like you, he'll take you
Uh-oh.
apart.
I missed cigarette machines, too. I love cigarette machines.
You want to take a ride there, fat man?
And plays rough.
Anybody want a milkshake?
Doyle is bad news, but he's a good
Uh-oh.
cop.
It's funny that this is like in the time where just like we're going to show you a scene from the movie.
Yep.
Now he's just watching the French people from across the club.
Yeah.
Who is that clown? Jewish lucky. What about the last of big-time spenders? You make him? No, you? He's spreading it around.
It's so
Lots of
funny
money.
how like
They say we stick around and give him
I don't want to say
What
bad,
trailers were.
but yeah, just like not
B-O-C-A.
not modern.
Downtown, they're pretty
Not
sure
at all.
they pulled off a contract on a guy named DeMarco.
Like I wonder what the first trailer to be like. No, we're gonna like make it exciting, or maybe if it was just like a gradual thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's some cuts in here that are like quicker and like show a little bit of action, but it's like no, this is like a very like kind of like
The French Connection.
methodical thing.
Millionaire exporter with a record too clean to be
And there's
true.
so much explanation for how little there is in the movie.
He's been known to make mistakes.
They said their names more times than they do in the movie already.
There's the cat and mouse thing.
This time,
Mhm.
he can't afford to be wrong.
Got him. So got him. Yeah, just running Santa Claus. Okay, now we go back to the beginning of the movie.
And now we're just like, we need action. You want action? Here's action.
I know the deal hasn't gone
Even though they haven't really shown the action in the movie, which is the car chase.
This is the stupidest scene to show.
All right, let's hit him. Hit him. All right, nobody wants
Okay.
to put their hands in the air.
The stakeout.
Popeye, it's me, it's me.
The payoff.
Yeah, there's a lot of explanation that maybe they just no explanation because it's all in the trailer.
Guess so. I don't know, man.
Hey, Coke, you all right?
You're like, that's Popeye Doyle. I know him.
Like now
from
they're
the
showing the
trailer.
chase, but it's like not interesting.
That part I really liked, and it gave me big vibes of Goodfellas when he's like looking up for the helicopter,
Yeah, yep.
and that's where I thought
French
other half
Connection.
was. That's a really old timey feeling trailer.
Yep.
Like in the sense it's like very old timey feeling. Yeah.
All right, so the letterbox game, for referencing, we've done this in a while. We guess we did it for Chitty Chitty, but Mad Max Fury Road up to 2.9 million. It's 2.853, but it rounds it to 2.9. 2.9 million for Mad Max Fury Road. The French Connection, 1971, directed by William Friedkin, starring Gene Hackman, Roy Scheider, and Fernando Rey, has been seen by how many people?
Give me 650,000.
Too high.
Give me 335.
Too
300
high. One more guess.
Give me 215.
265,264,731, but around to 265. Average rating of a 4.0, most common a 4, then a 3.5, then a 4.5, then a 5. How many people of those 265,000 have this their top 4 favorite movies of all time.
Oh, it's old, but I bet people fucking love it. Let's start at 1,200.
Too high.
600.
Too low. One more guess.
875.
847. Top review.
I said that with way more conviction than I was for how close I was. I was like, yeah, 875. That's it then. But
top review is from Will Menaker, who is on Chapo Trap House podcast. It says Popeye Doyle is the all-time NYPD MVP, a 5-tool player. He kills feds. He gets other cops killed. He says slurs, hates all minorities, parentheses, Italians included, and leads the league in nickel bag narcotics arrests, black people harassed, and using his badge to get laid. 5 stars.
very, very, very good review. Very good review.
But we're going to go to Abramon LB, who writes my all-time favorite Christmas movie, which I was like, why is this? I'm like, oh, Santa Claus. Okay, got it.
Got it, yeah.
Friedkin spent the rest of his career trying to top Popeye Doyle's Chase Under the L's. Some came close to Live and Die in L.A., some didn't, parentheses Jade, but none topped it. It's partly the boats, it's partly the grit, it's partly the outlaw nature of the film, which lacked proper permits, but it's mostly the vibe. 1970s New York was a special place, and we will never have anything like it again. 5 stars. That's kind of where I fall, too. Just like, this movie, like, no, you can try to make this movie again, but like, it's not gonna.
I don't think you're never gonna get this. You're never gonna get this. Yes.
Like, you can get something like Uncut Gems, which is, you know, New York and like gritty and like insane that it was made, but it's like, it's not this. This is a different thing.
This is a different thing. I agree with you. You'll never get this New York with like the no permit. You can't. You just can't. You physically. It's impossible. I think.
So Abramon LB's second favorite film of all time is The French Connection. Numbers 1, 3, and 4 are all movies that we have covered. 1 and 3 we've mentioned on this episode. 4 I almost mentioned but didn't. They're
To
all
Live and Die in L.A.
No, but they're all classic car movie lap.
Bullet.
Bullet's number 1.
Okay.
Number 4 is a classic car movie lap that, again, is not really a car movie, but there's a car chase in it. And number 3 is a classic car movie, sort of, that we did in the Planes, Trains, but No Automobiles lap.
Oh. Okay, keep going.
So number 3 was remade. Number 3 is the one in the Planes, Trains, No Automobiles lap. It was remade. I think we might have done this with Aaron Newirth.
Was it Gone in 60 Seconds,
Nope.
like the original?
Nope.
Fast and the Furious, the original?
Nope. It's a movie that I mentioned earlier in this. It is really about the other main method of transportation in this movie that isn't cars.
Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Taking a Pelham 1, 2, 3. And then number 4,
Whenever I see the sign for Pelham when I'm driving, I giggle to myself bigly.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Number 4 is a classic car chase in a non-car movie from the 90s, starring maybe your favorite actor of all time.
Oh, who's maybe my favorite actor?
Well, I would
of
say
all time?
definitely top 5. And they're all in the same movies together, all of your favorite actors.
Is it Heat?
No, but one of the actors from Heat.
Taxi Driver.
Same actor, different movie from the 90s. Classic car movie lap. Not a car movie, but a car chase.
Meet the Fockers.
Yep. Nope. Same actor, though. It is a Japanese title, essentially.
Ronin?
Ronin.
Yeah, we covered it, yeah.
Bullet, French Connection, Taking a Pelham, and Ronin. I'm just like, okay, this guy likes what he likes.
Yeah. Boy, do we have a podcast for you, bud.
Yep. His picture on Letterboxd is Kingpin, I think, from Daredevil. But that was the French
Interesting.
Connection. I feel like, again, not really a car movie, but I feel like considering what we talk about here, we had to cover it. And that was like the biggest, I think,
Left.
omission. There's still ones that we're covering this lap that are big that, you know, people might say are.
There's definitely a few. I'm just looking at the list right now. Yeah. I mean, like, I see one for sure that we should have probably covered.
And there's also, like, in terms of other car movies, like, sort by popular, like, I have a private list on Letterboxd. Like, we have not yet covered, and we will not cover this lap, Drive. We talked about that on the Gosling podcast.
We love Drive, yeah.
There are other ones like Days of Thunder, the NASCAR one, where Tom Cruise is a NASCAR driver. Like, there's stuff
But
that
you
we're
did Tom
not
Tom,
covering.
yeah.
There's The Driver, which is a fan favorite. Garrett Smith loves this movie, maybe his favorite movie. He wants to be on this Walter Hill movie. Like, there's other things that we have not covered and won't get to this lap. But French Connection, for being a Best Picture winner with, like, quote unquote, the car chase, like, good thing we covered it.
I think that I was decent on this movie when we started this, but after learning all the trivia, I think I'm higher on it now.
I think just knowing that, like, oh no, they did it all like by the skin of their teeth. it was
Kind
all
of,
real.
yeah.
They weren't really allowed to do it. Like they were kind of allowed to do it, but they're like, well, we're going to go beyond that. They're like, you can't do that.
Yeah, I like opposing authority a lot, so I give them 2 thumbs up for that, and it makes me like this movie more.
It's also like you're kind of rooting for cops, which feels weird, but it's also like they're not good cops. Like they're kind of like scumbag. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Which I
maybe
love,
makes it
yeah.
worse, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
As mentioned on the last episode, our next episode, the next movie we're covering, doing another movie, we're doing the ludicrous Christmas film Dashing Through the Snow, which came out 2 years ago. I will tell you, you want to know a little bit of the plot for this movie, or you want to go in blind?
Please. No, you could, if it's a Christmas
Ludacris
movie, fucking tell me.
is a man who lost his faith in Christmas, and he meets a guy played by Lil Rel Howery named Nick, who may or may not be Santa Claus, who helps him get back in the spirit.
Lil Rel?
Lil Rel.
Lil Rel is Santa Claus.
Or
Okay.
he plays Nick.
He plays Nick. He may or may not be
Saint Nick.
Santa Claus.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
But yeah, Ludacris is a guy who like doesn't believe in Christmas, or he's a Grinch or something, and then came out 2 years ago.
Awesome.
I have no idea. Dashing Through the Snow next week, and then we got a Fastlane after that.
Awesome.
Anything else to say in this episode before we pack it up and close up shop?
No, glad that I watched that movie.
Yeah, if you have thoughts on French Connection, get it in for the next mailbag, which we'll talk about in 2 weeks. But for all things Too Fast, Too Forever, go to cageclub.me, facebook.com/TooFastTooForever, or at TooFastTooForever on, mostly on Twitter. Email us, family@cageclub.me. Check out our Patreon page at TooFastTooForever.com and our store at cageclub.me/shop. And come back next week as we dash through the snow with Ludacris. I'm Joey Lewandowski,
I'm Joe too.
and we will tell you all about it
When we see you again.